Electronics, way to live a smart life.
The specials at Domino's are hot, hot, hot for any occasion. Hot right out of the oven. One medium, 2 topping pizza, and 2 20-ounce Cokes, only $35. Free Coke with your lunch until 2 p.m. Small, 1 topping school child lunch special, only $14. 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $69. 2 large, 2 topping pizzas, and a 2-liter soda, only $92. Oh, and the big one, baby. Free large pizza every Tuesday with your favorite 2 for Tuesday special. So, come on down or call and order now and experience our tasty oven-baked goodness. Domino's, the home of satisfaction.
Wow, call Domino's now.
Hey, St. Kitts and Nevis, do you need a better plan? Well, Digicell's got the plan for you. Try our 14-day Prime Plus bundle for $60 and get unlimited digi-to-digi calls and SMS. 14 gigabytes of data to surf, stream, or use any way you like. Activate a 14-day Digicell Prime bundle today in My Digicell or dial *141 number sign. Digicell, better together.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Frank and Candid for today, Wednesday, 17th August 2022. Those of us who follow history, particularly black history, we would know that today is one of significance in a particular manner of speaking. We will find out more about that as I introduce my guests for today. As I promised you yesterday, I am going to have some special individuals who will be talking about a special topic on this special day. So we welcome you, and we, as usual, we want to give thanks to the Almighty for blessing us with a lovely day, and I do not ever take that for granted, and so I'm not going to wait until the well runs dry to miss the water. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it while it is yet full, and I'm going to be giving thanks and praise for that blessing which I don't think I deserve. And so I want to welcome you to today's discussion. We're going to have the 3 honorable gentlemen introduce themselves. They're going to explain to you in some detail, I predict, what they wish to share with you. Then we're going to open the lines and have you exchange with them your views, your ideas, your opinions on the matter which they would have broached. Thank you for being a part of us today, and we look forward to your active involvement as usual. And so, gentlemen, over to you.
Yeah, good day to everyone in Radio Land, viewing via social media and the other platforms. I'm here on behalf of the Organization of Rastafari Unity, myself, Ras Ichos, along with Elder Ichot and Elder Sam Kufa. Today is Marcus Garvey Outstrong, and we are here to shed some light on his works, his contribution, as well as talk about the different celebrations that the organization usually do around Marcus Garvey's Outstrong, which is the Ganja March and Rally, which we have slated for the 21st of August down in the Sandy Point community. So that's just the introduction. I'll let the other guys get a do.
Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you heard that? These guys represent the organization of Rastafarian in unity. In other words, they come from a blend. They may or may not represent a blend of various Rastafarian organizations. And we are happy to hear that there is such an umbrella entity that speaks for the Rastafarian community in general in St. Kitts. And you would have heard the brothers speak of Marcus Garvey's Earth Strong. I think that's the Rastafarian terminology for birthday. And so today we celebrate the birth date of Marcus Garvey. We're going to find out then, why is it important that we pay attention to Marcus Garvey? Who was this guy? Why should we devote energy, time, and effort in recognition of this individual? We will hear about that as we proceed. Next.
Blessings. My name is Rassan Kofa. I'm a member of the Tiwalari House of David, but I'm here as part of the umbrella entity called the Organization of Rastafarian Unity. I'm also a member of the House of Yehuda Musical Foundation, who is also a member of the Organization of Rastafarian Unity. So I'm happy to be here. Give thanks, much blessings to Radio Land. Give thanks to the Almighty Father who manifests through Yahshua Emmanuel the Christ. And Emperor Haile Selassie the First, we give thanks for being present here. Our mission today is basically to give an in-depth history on Marcus Garvey and the works that Marcus Garvey have performed over the years to help Pan-Africanism, as they would call it, and even the starting in a kind of way the Black Power movement within this dispensation, as we calling from after emancipation. Marcus Garvey was a very, very influential leader for our community as black people here in St. Kitts, in Jamaica, in the diaspora, and also in Africa. And as we know now, he's an international figure. Wherever you go in the world, you would hear about Marcus Messiah Garvey. So we want to just come and give you that history. Give thanks.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, please be advised, I myself, in recognition of the value and worth and significance of the contribution of Marcus Garvey, I named my son, my first son, for Marcus Garvey. And so my first son, his name is Marcus Sylvan Blake. Over to you.
Greetings, earth inhabitants, especially members of my race. We greet you through and within the divine and unlimited power of our Ethiopic God and King, His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie the First, Divinity Most High by Verse. It is good to be here today on the Earth Day of Marcus Messiah Garvey, sharing with all and sundry who are part of the technology of radio and other technology, other forms of communication, and who are even in tune telepathically. We are one people, and that is our original form of communication. As the Virgins have said, we are going to share lots of things concerning Marcus Messiah Garvey. Amongst them, his greatest black stand formation, and his poetic flows. He was a poet, and if time permits, we're also going to livicate a poem that we wrote last night to him. We're also going to share Marcus Garvey's reasonings in the air concerning Marcus Garvey's rightful birthplace. We're also going to be sharing Marcus Garvey's stand on economics. And we're also going to be sharing matters concerning the question concerning his rightful birth date. and hopefully too concerning his visit to St. Kitts, and some of the things he might have said and shared at the MIS Hall when he visited St. Kitts. Give thanks.
Thank you, but you did not remind the public of your name.
Okay, my name, I'm sorry. The name is Ras Eli. Affectionately, you can call me X. In Jamaica, they call me E-Truth.
Very well.
And the Ethiopian Orthodox Church named me Garvey Maskal, which means servant of the cross.
Very well. I think most people in St. Kitts will be familiar with you as Ras Eli X, now more popularly carrying the moniker E-Truth. Carry on, gentlemen. So you promised to share with us a number of bits of information with respect to Marcus Garvey. Let us first establish, why should we pay attention to Marcus Garvey? What is the relationship between Marcus Garvey and black people, between Marcus Garvey and Kittitians? Why, as I asked earlier, is it important that young people, students in high school, at college, university, and elsewhere, why should we as a people concern ourselves with Marcus Garvey? Let's just establish that.
Yeah, give thanks. When you look at the man, Marcus Garvey, and the works that he would have contributed, you would see he's one of the leading individuals to speak to black people in terms of economic empowerment, education, as well as spirituality. He was the one who brought the prophecy of looking to the east for the coming of a black king, knowing that coming out of slavery, Christianity and this white God philosophy was beaten into I and I as a people. And coming out of that now, here was this black man now with this meditation that if the white man God is white, then the black people should have a black God as well. You know, hence looking to the east. And then in 1930, we had the crowning of the Messiah, you know what I mean, which coincided with his vision of the black Christ, you know, the black king, you know what I mean. So Marcus Garvey is a man who shed that light, you know what I mean, give I and I the courage to believe in I and I self as a black man and be strong, you know. So yeah, man, for that he must be recognized and commended, you know, highly high.
Okay, so we are hearing that Marcus Garvey is worth paying attention to by virtue of the uniqueness and the profundity of his message, aimed, if not exclusively, particularly at black people. So that he was a man who recognized that as a black individual, as a black man himself, his duty was to empower other blacks by virtue of the message that he espoused. All right. So I hope you agree with that, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. If not, you'll call us and tell us. And of course, we heard some comments just now from Rasaishos, and you may or may not agree with what he has said. I'm sure there are some questions concerning the veracity, the authenticity, the correctness of some of his statements. And this is Frank and Candid, so you'll call us when the time comes and speak to us frankly and candidly about your views on that. We'll hear from the next presenter as we proceed.
Well, basically, in respect to the question, why concern ourselves with Marcus Garvey, we got to give thanks that Marcus Garvey is the one who actually integrate black people together within that dispensation that we're talking about, from the eras of the 1920s to the 1930s up until 1940. You know, Marcus Garvey was the one who actually even started a company called the Starliner to try to carry people back and forth from the Americas and from the Caribbean and in the Western world to Africa. Marcus Garvey had over a million followers in the 1920s. He had $1 coming from every person, and I think it was a yearly basis. So he showed us how to deal with cooperative economics. Because if you could get monies from so much different entities, but of the same race, and create your own company with that, And he didn't just have the Starliner Company, he had the Universal Negro Improvement Association, he had the Negro World, which was a newspaper. So because he had all these establishments organized, he was building a network, almost to say a state of Africa outside of Africa. But his intention was not to have the state of Africa outside of Africa. He was supposed to create the state of Africa and put it on the African continent as a free state. In fact, the concept of restructuring Africa and developing independent state in Africa, where you had that trial run in Sierra Leone and you also had a trial run in Liberia, was the concept of Marcus Messiah Garvey. Yes. But they just utilized it at a later date, where actually Liberia was a reconstructed state by America, and Sierra Leone would have been a reconstructed state from Great Britain, to see if Africans can be placed back to Africa, rule Africa with the other Africans, and would it really work out? But because the Americans and the British is the ones who organized that one, it didn't work out the way Marcus would have organized it, because then he would have been the head of the state. That would have been that they would have that he would have gone back, and he was planning everything in Liberia at the time. His first voyage to Africa was to Liberia, but he wasn't on it. But he sent everybody to set up. But then after Marcus Garvey had done set negotiations with the chiefs at that time, because England was still in control, but he tried to get the lands from the chief. They end up and England went back and buy the lands them from the chief. Well, the Americans went back and buy the land from the chief and set up the Firestone Company. They buy the rubber, because it's a rubber area, and he was going to go into a rubber factory. Marcus was setting up over there with some black Americans. And they went behind Marcus' back and buy up all the lands them, and they put Firestone Company there. So just to show you that Marcus was, the economic development that Marcus was planning within that time was beyond his time, was above his time, because the people them wasn't fully ready for it at that time. You know, it's something that our leaders should have to look at, something that happened in the past, but look at it presently, because right now he also wanted to connect through trade Africa to the Caribbean, whether he was starting through the boat runnings, and he was eventually going to go through the channel there with the transatlantic slavery. That was part of his mission. We can continue that now. And he also, in the future, if it was within our dispensation, obviously he would have used airplanes and all these things. So he set the road for us to follow within this dispensation with these new great leaders that we're supposed to have now. They will consider actually open up these airlines, especially the one that Dougie had already organized a flight to leave St. Kitts on October 15, 2015. And we demand that that flight leave within our dispensation, so we can see that happen in our time.
Where was that flight supposed to be destined to?
It was leaving St. Kitts straight to Nigeria.
Right, that's
it was in the newspaper. I have the newspaper still. I should have bring it.
No, but you needed to point that out. You didn't say where it was headed.
Yeah, it was headed to Nigeria. So there was that was already organized by the St. Kitts government. So if we can actually get something like that organized, we can do the actual trading. Not we can do. You start for the first time actual trading with Africa, which would destabilize America to a level.
Okay. Now, so there's a lot of information, a lot of talk, as it were, with respect to Garvey and his vision for Africa in particular, black people in general, Africa in particular. You're going to tell us, the panel that is, whether Marcus himself did ever set foot in Africa. Marcus himself, not agents, not vicariously, but directly, did he himself visit Africa? If not, why not? Not only that, we're going to want to hear whether his vision was realized, and if so, to what extent? If not, why not? So why didn't he this very broad and progressive vision that Marcus had, why was it thwarted, and what were the factors that led to that? Carry on. Yeah. No, carry on.
Yeah, greetings forwardly. Pertaining to what you just asked, if he ever set foot on the continent, that information is there. I'm not sure. It was said he never did, but we can confirm that. Concerning true.
Yeah, carry on, Neil. I'm not sure what's happening here.
Okay. Concerning if his concerning if his vision has been achieved. Well, we had said earlier that we're going to share one of his greatest black stand formation, and that was concerning repatriation.
Okay.
He was very up there.
Keen.
Yes, when it comes to repatriation. That is the reason why he started the thrift with the penny to create the Black Starliner. Not just to trade, but to go return home. And that is repatriation. You know, he was very keen there, and economics. We know, as my brethren already said, it was not. He started setting that economic stability with the people, as my brethren just indicated. There was 1 million plus people inside of his organization, and different organization which was around him, and monies. We have a story about the penny bank in St. Kitts. His program was something like that. I think the word is thrift, THRIFT.
Yes.
And it shows his inclusiveness, because he was very keen also about black unity.
Definitely.
The unity of black people universally. You know? I will
Yeah, right. So we'll take a break, ladies and gentlemen. I want to sort out what seems to be happening here. We'll take a break, station break, and we'll be right back. Thank you. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for sticking and staying. Now we are advised that the folks have already begun to call, but the panelists would prefer that you wait another 5 minutes because they want to share some more information before we open the lines. We are very much aware that once the lines are open, time flows very swiftly. Some callers do not even respect the host when he advises that they have 60 seconds more and so on. So we're going to give the panelists another 5 minutes to share some more information in depth. Then we'll open the lines. Please be patient. Thank you very much. Back to the panel.
Yes, I'll take a minute and a half out of the 5. The information will flow I more from my brethren Ross Sankofa. I just wanted to, as I said in my opening, Marcus Garvey was a very serious poet, wordsmith, and his poetry is very, very long. We hope to share some of those in times. He was also into arts, theatre, to spread his messages. Yeah, that we smith up some words last night, and we like to share as best as we could. And the punchline goes like this: Oh, what a mighty, mighty man is he, teacher Marcus Messiah Garvey. Blessed, oh blessed art she, whose womb gave birth to he, who stands so proudly, so joyfully, bearing the hue of original humanity, progenitor of races, nations, peoples universally, standing so predominantly, as the true rightful owner of earth, sky, and sea. Oh, what a mighty, mighty man is he, teacher Marcus Messiah Garvey. Prophets bearing his image and likeness, all hail him as honorable and blessed, and as even privily agreed in oneness, in one accord, all saying, yes, 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 earth inhabitants all and sundry, north, south, east, west, wasn't, isn't on the level of the consciousness of his serene highness. Way, way before his time he cometh. Behold, all good creation hath the witness. Oh, what a mighty, mighty man is he, teacher Marcus Messiah Garvey.
And that was constructed by you guys? Or by you yourself?
I wrote this for the
Excellent. Congratulations. As a poet myself, I'm proud of that.
Yeah,
and it is definitely on target.
Give thanks.
Yes. I just found out, just last year, I found out for the first time that Marcus Garvey himself was a poet.
Yes.
And then I was able to come into contact and possession of some of his poetry.
You serious?
And I'm sorry, I didn't forget, but I didn't remember. Not that I forgot, it's just that I didn't remember to bring along one of those poems to share with the audience this morning. I'm going to do that tomorrow, because I have to share one of Garvey's poems with the audience, with my brothers and sisters listening and viewing. I'll do that tomorrow because I didn't remember to bring it with me. But one of Marcus Garvey's poems, I was very proud to find out that among the man's repertoires of abilities and skills and expertise was that of poet.
Yes.
So we give thanks. Carry on.
Yeah, just to continue and share with the general public, today we are here speaking about Marcus Garvey, but the activities continue. This evening, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. down at the Sandy Point Market, we are going to have an actual gathering in celebration of the Earthlight of Marcus Garvey, where we're going to be having some poetry, some more discussion on the man himself, some drumming, as well as some chanting. So that's happening this evening, 7 p.m.
The public is invited?
Sandy Point Market.
Yeah.
Yes, it's open to the general public.
Is there an entrance fee?
There's no entrance fee.
Fine.
Then on Sunday, we have the annual Marcus Garvey Ganja March and Rally that will be taking place from 4 p.m. The march starts at 4 p.m. from Romney Grounds, and we proceed down to the streets of Sandy Point, climaxing at the market, where we'll have a rally, where we're going to have song, poetry, drumming, presentations about Marcus Garvey.
As a repeat of tonight?
No, something different.
Okay.
On a bigger level.
Okay, right. Okay.
We'll have food and drinks and beverages on sale.
Okay.
You know what I mean? No admission fee, but feel free to come out, bring the family. You know what I mean? It's an event, an afternoon for all. You know what I mean? As we speak about Marcus Garvey, we speak about emancipation, we speak about the herb. You know what I mean? It's a jam-packed activity happening this Sunday as part of Marcus Garvey celebration.
That sounds like a family affair where the parents should bring along their children.
Yes, because
and,
we're going to have children as well participating.
Enjoy themselves while they learn more about
Yes,
this
Marcus
great
Garvey.
black
Yes.
Pan-Africanist.
Truly.
Okay, you have another bit to add, Sankofa, before we open the lines?
Yes, I want to read something here by Derek Hazel, who's also a Hazel Garvey from Sandy Point. And it's going to be a little shocking for us, but we have to take this message with a little caution, because I did not get to verify all the information, but I did verify some of the information, and it seems very truthful, so I have to seal up some other information, because you know sometimes it's hard to get birth certificate if you're not part of the family. So we're trying to seal up that, and once we seal up that, we will be sure. But we're going to present the information, and the public can actually assist with going through the documents and actually doing their own research.
Truly.
And let's make this a collective effort, because if what this man's saying is true, the whole essence about what we know as Garvey
Yes.
has to be changed, and Garvey will have to be a national hero of maybe St. Kitts and Jamaica. So it is founded that the mother of Marcus Mosiah Garvey Jr. was a lady named Sarah Jane Richards Woodley, born 1852, and the daughter of Sarah Mason Garvey. Now this guy come from the mother side of Garvey, which is Sarah Mason Garvey. This author here, Derek Hazel Garvey, and Henry Samuel Woodley. They were married on the 7th of December 1854 in Sandy Point, in St. Anne's, Sandy Point, St. Kitts, West Indies. Sarah Jane Richards, Marcus' mother, married John Joseph Warner Sr. on the 30th of April 1874. They produced 12 children. Sarah Jane Richards, now Sarah Jane Warner, because she was married, left St. Anne's, Sandy Point, St. Kitts, bound for Jamaica in 1900. She took with her two of her children, Indiana Jessie Elizabeth Warner and Marcus Mosiah Garvey Jr. John Joseph Warner Jr. That is really the name of Marcus, according to what this document is saying. Marcus' name was John Joseph, and he was a junior to his father. He was named after his father here in St. Kitts. Sarah James Richards and her two children visited their uncle Marcus Elim Bentis, then known in Jamaica as Marcus Mosiah Garvey Sr., in 1900. This uncle, Marcus Elim Bentis, or Marcus Garvey of mother title, his birth record shows he was born in 1840 to Isabella Mason Garvey, then the owner of St. Gillis Estate in St. Anne's, Sandy Point, St. Kitts, West Indies. So basically what this article is saying, and they have an escape of more family lineage and some history of Marcus as well. This article was written for publication. It was published in the St. Kitts Nevis Observer on Friday, May 15, 2020. So, and it was penned by a Kittitian named Derek Hazel, who lives in Sandy Point. So I was trying to get him on the show, but he actually broke his leg, so he's not going to be able to be at this show, and maybe not even going to be able to be. But he's writing a book about this. Very powerful book, because there's other persons who are linked to St. Kitts that we don't know of, that he's going to present in this book as well too, who are very popular world figure, just like Marcus. We will be shocked. This man presenting some highly, I guess, controversial information, but yet, if it can be proven as true, then we have another gem coming out of St. Kitts.
Okay.
You know, and we should take this information still with caution, just because we personally haven't really get a chance to verify all the information, but we thought it was necessary to start the discussion, because I heard it before, but we never came across this amount of documentation which give birth record, birth date, and even in this article, the man claimed that he has the birth certificate of John Joseph Jr., which is supposed to be Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And he went to stay in Jamaica at the age of 12. So Marcus himself would have recognized that he was from St. Kitts, but yet he didn't really, glorify that information in the international arena. So these are questions that we will have to try to uncover. We don't have the answers now, so nobody come call me and ask me no question about certain things, because I don't have the answer presently.
Okay.
So we just getting the document and we're working with it. Give time.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just to advise, I have read quite a bit. I love reading. And part of my reading has informed me that Marcus Garvey was born in Jamaica on the 17th of August, 1887. And I have in my possession, I'll probably bring it tomorrow, where Marcus Garvey himself explained that he was born, that his mother was born in St. Kitts. His mother was born in St. Kitts. He makes no reference to where he was born. He did emphasize that his mother was born in St. Kitts. Of course, one's parent being born in a particular island or country doesn't necessarily mean that the individual himself was born there as well. It is significant to know that when Marcus spoke at the MIS in 1937, he never mentioned anything about being born in St. Kitts. And by the way, if you wish a copy of Marcus's speech that he gave at the MIS Mutual Improvement Society Hall in 1937, you can contact me. I'll be glad to give you a copy. I have a copy or copies of the speech that Marcus gave from beginning to end on that occasion in 1937. We're going to open the lines now and invite you to share with the panel, because time is passing by quickly as usual. So you're free to call us 465-2555, ask questions, make comments, and if you have information that you think the public would learn from and be happy to hear, I invite you to share it with us. Okay? So, we spoke of Garvey's desire to have direct links between territories where black people resided and the mother country, the mother continent, birthplace of civilization, Africa. That has not yet been translated into reality. We were glad to hear Maya Motley of Barbados the other day speak about advanced discussions with respect to introducing direct flights between Barbados and Ghana. I am longing for that day. I think I'll be one among the first to be on that flight.
I think Jamaica won already.
Right. So, no, not yet.
Not yet.
So we are looking forward for those kinds of interventions and innovations. In the meantime, we'll take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Blake.
Yes, sir.
This is Sonny Boy calling from New York.
Yes.
Hail, Sonny Boy, greetings.
I'm listening to the guys talking about Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
Do you know in Harlem?
By the way, you have 1 minute, 60 seconds. Yeah.
They have a park in New York City named after Marcus Garvey.
Yes.
In Harlem.
Yeah.
And very instrumental in opening the black man eye in America, in which he got deported back to Jamaica because he was not a citizen. So he done a lot of things right here in the America. He's the one that inspired Malcolm X, and all that. I was surprised to hear that he had connection to Sakers. I never knew that. So that was very inspiring for me. But I live in New York City, and they got a park that I've been to many, many times, Marcus Garvey Park in Harlem.
Yes.
And that's all we recognize. I'm not talking about Liberia. Liberia is the only country outside America that still uses American money. Liberian money is American currency.
Because it was
And that way when it was created, and until today, it's still that way. Mr. Blake, thank you for taking my call.
Thank you very much. Let's take another caller. Hello, caller.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, good morning, Mr. Blake. Good morning to Frank Hofer, I2, and the others. This is Cameron Gill calling.
Greetings.
Blessings.
Hey, greetings. Just two brief points I want to make. The first one regarding Marcus Garvey's boss.
Yeah.
Well, I would argue that whether or not he's born in St. Kitts, we can still take pride in his connection because his mother was from here. For example, you have prominent Americans, Denzel Washington, General Colin Powell, etc., who are of Jamaican ancestry.
Yes.
They themselves may not have been born in Jamaica, but Jamaicans still take pride in that connection. So even though Marcus Garvey may not have been born in St. Kitts, we can still take pride in that maternal connection with this island.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. The second point I'd like to make, right, and first let me backtrack a bit and thank you all for the excellent presentation on Marcus Garvey's impact, because unfortunately many people, including many of the younger generation, are not aware.
True.
But the second point I'd like to make is Marcus Garvey's influence on the Pan-African movement. Yeah. Okay? Marcus Garvey was an early proponent of the belief that if you are a black person, whether you are a black person in Africa, whether you are a black person living in the UK, Canada, the United States, the Caribbean, Latin America, your history is the same, you face the same circumstances of discrimination, etc. And so when Marcus Garvey first started speaking out on these issues, we have to bear in mind that, for example, in the Caribbean, almost a century after emancipation, living conditions are daily in food. For black Americans, especially those in the South, there was the harsh repression of the Jim Crow segregation, and there was also, embedded racism in UK, Canada, Europe, etc. So Marcus Garvey was one of the four proponents of the fact that wherever you are as a black person, we face similar struggles. So he had a major influence on the Pan-African movement. And this is something that I stress to my students because recently, with the recent incidents in the States and the killing of unarmed black men by law enforcement officials, you have the Black Lives Power movement. And so you have a generation of people of African descent, a new generation.
Yeah, 30 seconds more.
Of the fact that we face similar struggles and challenges wherever we are in the world. And Marcus Garvey was an important influence on cementing that point for many of us.
Thank you.
Again, gentlemen, thank you for your presentation today.
Thank you very much. Right. Let's bear in mind Marcus Garvey came to St. Kitts in April 1937.
Let me talk about that a little bit now.
Let's take another caller.
We're not going to get no more chance to talk.
Hello?
Hello.
Right. This will be our final call. Well, not final call, but our last call for the time being. We're going to go back to the panel after this.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Blake.
Morning, sir.
And good morning to your panel, Raf, Eli, and Sankofa. This is Journey here.
Right, you have 60 seconds.
The
Excuse me, just a minute. You have 60 seconds. Carry on.
Yeah. Mr. Blake, we were supposed to be going to Ghana this month, but unfortunately that didn't come through. But I am looking forward to taking that journey and not having to go to the Babylon Empire. I just want to say I appreciate the topic, and also I want to congratulate the new Prime President of Kenya, William Ruto, and just to send out my sympathy to the people of Sierra Leone. There's some bloodshed is going on in Sierra Leone, and I just want our people to remember them to the Most High. Again, thank you for the topic, and I continue to listen.
Very well. Thank you. We're going to hold off on the calls for the time being, and we're going to go back to our panel. Each person another minute or two.
Well, I won't take up. I'll just let Sankofa share. I hope we can share something from his 1937 visit before the program finished. Sankofa.
Well, we can do that now.
Yes.
Because we do have to entertain the calls. Yeah.
You have the information there. You could share a sketch from it. But what I wanted to say, the 1937 visit was very important, because it documents a lot of things. Because this is when Marcus, being deported, went back to Jamaica.
Yes.
Marcus even had won a seat. I don't know if he was in. I think he might in the local government in Jamaica, and he won and then afterwards he was in prison.
Yes.
So and then afterwards the people them didn't receive him, even though he won the seat in Jamaica. Yes. He didn't get the recognition that he was getting in America, where there was millions of people surrounding this man, having the Women's League, having that big meeting in Harlem in the 1920s, where there was almost 1 million people in the streets of Harlem. Black people. They had the Black Cross nurses from his company, the United Negro Improvement Association. So when he came to St. Kitts in 1937, they had banned Marcus from trying to come to St. Kitts before, because they heard that he was going over to different, because there was a letter that was written to McIntosh. I have a copy of that letter, where he stating that, I think at the time, I don't know if it was Lavelle, one of the Governor General for the area, McIntosh is a man from Sandy Point, one a good friend of Marcus Garvey, and they knew each other before he came to St. Kitts. So then the question will be, if he was born in Jamaica and this is the first time he come into St. Kitts, how they were so familiar with each other. They were very familiar. If you read the letter, you could see that they were friends. They knew each other personally. I don't know if they met outside the Federation or not, but he was writing him a letter telling him to talk to the Governor General, because he's having a problem coming to St. Kitts, because the response that he getting from the government is a negative response, saying that wherever he goes, he's causing problems, and they don't really want him to come to St. Kitts. So he asked him, McIntosh, to try to talk to the Governor General so that he could have a favorable response to come to St. Kitts. When Marcus came to St. Kitts, Marcus was coming from England. He went to Nova Scotia, which is in Canada, and then he came to St. Kitts. And I remember one of the most important things he said is, make St. Kitts our Garden of Eden. Marcus came to St. Kitts and went down in Fig Tree, in particularly, because he was familiar with the area. This is where it was his playground. He used to go down there as a little boy to play. Marcus also went to areas in Sandy Point that he knew. He went down there also to watch the port of Authority down there, because at that time it's a town. He went to all the towns. He made stop to all the ports them in St. Kitts to see viable for transportation, which would have been the best port to move the Starline company to here, because he didn't give up on his dream of owning the Starline company. He went through some setbacks because he got deported from America. His own people betrayed him. But the reality, all the people that surround Marcus, the high positions with Marcus, was Jamaicans and Kittitians.
Indeed. Yes,
You're talking about Jacob Mills' son,
yes, yes,
Charles Mills. You're talking about my auntie, you know, Aunt May Short, who went back to Africa too, being a secretary of Marcus Garvey.
Yeah.
Marcus had other secretaries from St. Kitts. His whole entourage. He had Charles Mills, Mr. Mills there, one of his top security man, one of his main man around Marcus, second only to the other Jamaican guy who was around him. This was Marcus' close, McIntosh was Marcus' close friend. So you see?
It's a letter that Marcus. This is a letter that Marcus himself wrote to Arnold McIntosh.
And that happened on
subsequent to his visit
the
to
7th of January.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 1938.
Wow.
That's the one after.
After he had come to St.
Look
Kitts
at
and
all
come
the
back.
dates that Marcus used for his letters. You have this one after his letter. I mean, after his visit to St. Kitts, the 7th of January, this Ethiopian Christmas.
Yeah.
Then the other one is the 7th of October, 1937. That's when His Majesty was crowned king. Then he came to St. Kitts and spoke on the 2nd of November, 1937, which is 7 years exact after the coronation of His Majesty. And here the mystic still too, when His Majesty, when Marcus spoke in St. Kitts, Haile Selassie at the same time speaking in England to America, burning the fire, because that was November 2nd, 1937. His Majesty speaking in England at the same time on a BBC program. And Marcus Garvey here in St. Kitts speaking at the same exact timing in MIS. It was some mystical energies on the earth at the time. That's 7 years after the coronation, rallying the people them.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, as usual, we run out of time too quickly on the show.
Energy.
But let me just quote quickly one or two statements that Marcus made during his delivery, his presentation at the MIS. He says, for example, your island is a Garden of Eden. Viewed from the waterfront, because he came by boat, of course, he said, viewed from the waterfront, it looks like paradise. I have not come here to steal away anything. In fact, what I would like to steal away is ignorance, so that when I cross the Caribbean, I can dump that ignorance in the deep Atlantic. He says, I love the country very much, and the people too. They are very hospitable. Everywhere I went, I was received with open arms. He says, try to make your little country the best spot in the world. Marcus Garvey, speaking in 1937, says, get hold of the land and don't let it get away from you.
No.
He says, own your own house and own the land. You will then be a respectable citizen, and Almighty God will approve of you, and the blessings of Almighty God will be upon you. Marcus Garvey, speaking in 1937 here in St. Kitts, he says, where is it? Another, like I said, I have the entire speech. If you wish to get a copy, just ask me, and I'll be glad to give it to you, free of cost. But it's a very profound delivery, and it speaks to a man who was ahead of his time.
Ahead of his time.
I mean, it's just amazing. But it is recorded here that a large crowd of people was present at the waterfront to get a glimpse of the world-renowned individual who was coming to visit St. Kitts, and only because the MIS Hall, the Mutual Improvement Society Hall, was limited in the number of persons it could accommodate, why it was not overcrowded. And of course, the individuals who ran the MIS were men who, of a certain kind of discipline. And so they would not just allow all kinds of people to come in and crowd the place. But there were lots of people in Market Street standing on the outside, trying to catch a glimpse of the individual and trying to hear what Marcus was saying.
We go to get some captured pictures in time.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that would be nice. Okay, we're gonna open the lines again for another call or two before we ask our guests to wrap up in a minute or so. Yeah. Any callers on the line wanting to? Let's take this one. Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Blake. How are you today?
Fine.
If I am right, this morning during the introduction of the Rastaman, they did say that Marcus Garvey got his name from his father. Is that right?
No. I said I named my son, my first son, for Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, but I know they were.
Oh yeah, you did say that as well. Yeah. He was Marcus Garvey Jr.
The name Marcus Messiah Garvey, according to the information that we just received, that's not the accurate name that would be on his birth certificate. It would be John Joseph Jr. He got his name from his original father.
John Joseph Warner, yes.
But now he carried the name Marcus Garvey Jr. because the person who he went to live over there with his mother in Jamaica was Marcus Garvey Sr.
But you're aware.
No, he was a senior. The man himself was a senior.
Garvey got his name, which is Irish origin, from his family former enslavers. Do you know that?
Can you repeat that?
Yes. Say that again.
Are you aware that Marcus Garvey Garvey, which is his Irish origin, got his name inherited from his former enslaved owners?
His former enslaved owners?
Yeah, from his family former enslavers.
Oh, okay, the enslaved.
And his father, who was Malchus Garvey, a stonemason, who met Sarah Jane Richards, had 2 previous relationships and bear 6 children between them. Are you aware of that?
Well, the information we have here says he has 12 children. Marcus is one of 12 children.
But his father, Malchus Garvey, a stonemason, met Sarah Jane Richards, he had 2 previous relationships, which of course, in between those 2, bear 6 children. Are you aware of that, you see?
I just responded to that. But carry on. We have to finish up, Leo. 30 seconds more.
I am finished. Thanks very much for listening.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, we thank this individual for sharing some information. It's a pity that a lot of information seems to vary, and it's difficult to find the actual accurate details. But we're going to do that. Let's take this final caller for today. Hello, caller.
Hello, Mr. Ben.
Yes, sir.
I'm calling you back with a side note. Louis Farrakhan in the United States.
Yes.
His father from Jamaica and his mother from St. Kitts.
Street God.
Follower of Marcus Garvey. Louis Farrakhan. His mom is from St. Kitts, College Street God.
Yeah, we know that. Yeah, I interviewed him when he was here. I was the one who conducted the interview with Louis Farrakhan on ZIZ when he came here quite a number of years ago. All right, gentlemen, time is fast spent. We still have persons wishing to get in, but I'm sorry. We're going to give you a minute each to finish up.
Well, as I said, just want to reiterate the different activities happening this evening. We're down at the market, 7 to 9, to have a physical celebration for Marcus Garvey Outstrong. And then on Sunday, we have the annual Marcus Garvey Ganja March and Rally and concert. The march starts at 4 p.m. from Romney Ground, that's where the old dollar stretcher used to be. Proceed down to the streets of Sandy Point, climax at the market, where we're going to have the rally and concert with presentations about Marcus Garvey, poems, songs, drumming, the whole works. Ital and sale, local juice, lots to eat and drink, so come on out, no admission fee.
I'll be there. I want to hear that poem by Rasila I told one more time. Let's go.
Yes, Blessed Love, that same day, the 17th, which is tonight, we're asking the family of Sarah Jane Richards to come forward, attend, help us get a better understanding of what really took place in the past. There's family who is alive in St. Kitts. We are sure of these people. And also his father, John Joseph Jr., you know, his uncles. You know, we need to have, what we could do tonight is have a proper discussion concerning certain historical data and information that we have to gather so that we can bring this information to a reality. If there is a birth certificate that is hiding out there, let's bring it to the public.
Yes.
Definitely.
I mean, yes, I understand some people want copyrights and what's not. Whatever you have to do, ensure your copyrights, ensure you document your information, but still bring it to us so that we can have some information, because I think this is a very important finding, and I have to give all credit. I'm not trying to take any of this credit to Mr. Derek Hazel Garvey. He's the one who wrote the article. He's the one who gave me all the information that I have in my head concerning this particular information. Another person had told me that years ago, but because I knew from what they were saying that it was a St. Anne's in Jamaica, not knowing that it could have been the St. Anne's here in St. Kitts, and then the partner presented it to me way back, and I just didn't study the information. But this time, the partner have a history, so give thanks, and we want to learn more tonight about that.
Definitely. Eli, you have 30 seconds.
30. I live in Jamaica for a while, and Jamaica claim him, you know, it's his birthday, so we have to,
Definitely.
we really have to sort it out. I want to take my time in calling on the massive in St. Kitts and Nevis to set the MIS Hall as it ought to set.
Yes,
Hear me?
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much. And so we end Frank and Candid today with that clarion call from Rasila X. The MIS needs to be resuscitated, resurrected,
indeed.
revived.
Yes.
We shall see where that leads sooner than later. Thank you very much for being a part of Frank and Candid
Yes,
today.
you know.
It was our pleasure.
Give thanks.
Until tomorrow, be good.